everyone and welcome to xxMelle Potato Kitchen! Today we are making brownies. It's not my recipe, it's a recipe from someone called Ricardo. He has his own website. I'll put the thing in the bottom of the description. And the ingredient for the amount of chocolate was in grams, but I didn't have scales, so I did some maths, but I ended up adding more anyway, and it was really good. So as per my calculation, the ingredient will be put at the end or on my website. Yeah, it looks amazing. It was delicious. There's a beautiful ganache that is on top. Mine turned out to be a little bit liquidy this time, but the first time I did it, I added even more chocolate and it was perfect. I am not an expert, but I added more chocolate the first time and it was better. So I recommend adding a tiny bit more chocolate. So for the first thing, you need to have the right amount of chocolate for both the brownie and the ganache. The recipe asked for dark chocolate, but I didn't want to use only dark chocolate, so I've used a mix of chocolate milk and dark chocolate. So I did half and half approximately. So here you can see that I have two different piles of chocolate. One is for the ganache and one is for the brownies. They have the exact same amount of chocolate, so it's pretty easy. Just split it half and half. We need some sugar and some butter, but I started by cutting down the chocolate to put it into the microwave to melt it. So you just chop it roughly and then you put it in a microwave safe bowl with half a cup of butter in cubes. So my butter was cold straight out of the fridge. I just used the measurement that was on the wrapping and I cut it into cubes and added that into the microwave for 30 seconds. The butter was thick. So I added that into the microwave for 30 seconds and then I took it out. It looked like this, and that's when I realized I had not enough chocolate in that, even though I had the right weight according to the packaging of my chocolate. So I added a big, I would say approximately a cup here, half a cup or a cup more of chocolate chip into that mix and put that back into the microwave for another 30 seconds. While it was in the microwave, I started to mix up the other ingredients. I had already measured out the flour, but I needed some sugar, some brown sugar, and then you add the 3 eggs and you mix them together until it is smooth looking. While I was adding all the ingredients together, the microwave was done, so I mixed up the chocolate once again to see if it was melted correctly and if it was hot enough or not. And then it was fine, so I put it on the side and I started mixing the eggs and the sugar together to have a smooth, homogeneous texture. Once I obtained that, I added the chocolate in, the flour, and I kept mixing until everything was well combined. Then I transferred everything into a baking dish, oven-safe baking dish that I lined up with some parchment paper. It was not well lined up, but it was fine. So it ended up funny looking at the end, but it was fine. That's a gift from my mom, which I really appreciated. I started making some bread in that and it's really cool. So I've made sure that everything was smooth and covered as much as possible the bowl, and I've put that into the oven at 325 for 30 minutes, or until when you do the test with the wooden sticker thing at the end, it needs to not be clean. When you put it in and take it out, it needs to not be fully clean. So the first time I took it out, it was too liquidy, but the second time that I took it out, it was perfect. Then before you can eat it, you need to let it cool for 2 hours. It was a long time. While it was cooking, I started prepping the ganache. So for that, I needed to chop the chocolate into pieces. And then I've used coconut milk in substitute to the cream, and maple syrup in substitute of corn syrup, because I will never have corn syrup in my house. So half a cup of cream, a tablespoon of maple syrup, 170 grams or more of chocolate, and 1 tablespoon of butter that I did not add into the mix. You need to add it at the end. So you make sure that the cream is hot and boiling. When it is boiling, you put it into the chocolate, mix it until everything is well combined. Then you add the chocolate in and you let it cool down for 2 hours. So it should be ready approximately at the same time as the brownie. So you let both of them cool down for 2 hours. I transferred my brownie into a plate as soon as it was cooled down, and I added the ganache on, but it was a little bit too liquidy even after 2 hours of waiting, because I think I should have added more chocolate in it. So it would be a little bit more thick. But it ended up looking really good. The recipe was amazing. It tasted awesome. I added some whipped cream. You can pair that with some ice cream, and you can even reheat it into the microwave for a little bit of time. And it is really good. So I recommend doing this. If you want to have the actual recipe, I'll put it in the description below. And I will put my recipe with my changes on my website. It should be there tomorrow. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you don't expect me to do a lot of baking and stuff, because I am bad at it. I can't follow a recipe, and everything I do ends up not working. So I'm probably not gonna do a lot, but I'm trying to make a few for you guys. So that's what it gave me. It was good, even though I didn't follow the instructions. So I recommend doing this recipe. It is really good. And I'll see you guys next week for another video. And spoiler alert, we're gonna have potatoes. Another potato video! So yeah, I'll see you guys next week for another video. Bye!